Mic test one, mic test one. Mic test one, mic test one. CSP Westfield, mic test one.
And now, Lictus Oil and Propane and Clymer presents Clymer Sherman Panama Wolfpack Baseball play-by-play coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream at channel989.org. This broadcast is presented by Countertop Solutions, Caflisch Pallet and Wood Supply, Triple E Manufacturing, Necker's Company General Store, Daniels Electric and Flicks Heating and Plumbing, Troyer's Greenhouse, by Stone Audiology, by Whiteland Surveying, J.H. Napa Auto Parts, Mosher Carpeting, J. Edwards Insurance, Utegg's Body Shop, by Lictus Oil and Propane, and Tina Dills, ERA Team VP Licensed Real Estate Agent. And now let's head to the field for all the action of CSP Wolfpack Baseball play-by-play.
And welcome into Westfield, New York for today's Game 5 of the season for the CSP Wolfpack as they travel to Westfield to face the Wolverines. 65 degrees, slight wind blowing in from left center field, I guess you would say, from where the school is, on towards the mound. And that is the scene for today's showdown between the Wolverines and the Wolfpack. CSP comes into today's game 2-2 overall, 2-1 in league, and Westfield comes into today's game 1-2 overall, 1-1 in league. And we'll get ready to get started here in just about 10 minutes' time. Taking the mound today for Westfield will be Joel Stein, and taking the mound for the Wolfpack will be Tate Katniss. Tate will hit in the third hole for the Wolfpack today, and we'll get to that lineup in just a minute. Real quick, taking a look real quick at Westfield and what they're bringing to the table as far as their record coming in. They are 1-2. Tough loss to North Collins to start their season 6-4. And then a 10-0 loss to Frewsburg, followed up with a 13-3 win last Thursday over Pine Valley. Gets them to this game today against CSP. Their schedule, much like CSP, is being condensed dramatically because of rain. They had a rainout on Saturday against Maple Grove. They've had rainouts against Chautauqua Lake and a couple other schools as well. So they sit at 1-2 and currently sit a little further back than the Wolfpack in CCAA Division II. They're in the 5th seed right now, tied with Casadega Valley and Chautauqua Lake. The Wolfpack, sole possessors of third place in CCAA Division II with their 2-2, 2-1 record. They trail only Frewsburg and Brockton in the division. Taking a look at class instead of by league, because that's the way the postseason will break down. CSP falls into 4th place in Class C behind Frewsburg, Gowanda, and Faulkner, and they sit at 2-1 in league play, 2-2 overall. Those three schools ahead of them are all undefeated in league play, and Gowanda 6-2 overall, Frewsburg 3-1 overall, and Faulkner undefeated at 4-0 overall. The Wolfpack will hope to stay there in that top 4. It's a good place to be heading into the playoffs, but for now the focus will be on league play and doing well in the CCAA Division II against today's opponent, Westfield. Taking a look at starting lineups for the Wolfpack today, leading off and playing shortstop will be Gavin Burchanowski. Hitting second and playing first base will be Bryce Hinsdale. Hitting third and pitching will be Tate Katniss. Playing third base and hitting fourth will be Andrew Spiesman. Playing center field and hitting fifth will be Isaiah Burkholder. Playing catcher and hitting sixth will be Max White. Playing left field and hitting 7th will be Brady Phelps. Playing right field and hitting 8th will be Caleb Anderson. And playing second base and hitting 9th will be Johnny Abers. So Abers, the second baseman, the sophomore, he had a really interesting day the last time out as they faced Chautauqua Lake. His stats didn't look great. He went 0 for 2, but he did have a big walk and a lot of really good at-bats. But most importantly, he had an incredible defensive performance at second base, making a couple snares that were probably out of the reach of most players at that position. So really great defensive effort from Johnny there at second base. The Wolfpack looking hot last week with big wins over Maple Grove and Chautauqua Lake. Head into this game looking to keep it rolling against the Wolverines of Westfield. Wolverines lineup will look like this. Pitching and hitting first will be Joel Stein. Catching and hitting second will be Trent Ram. Playing third base and hitting third will be Danny Bratton. Playing first base, hitting fourth, Mason Brom. Playing shortstop and hitting fifth, Tristan Phillips. Playing center field and hitting sixth, Logan Baum. Second base, hitting seventh, is Joey Russo. Left field, hitting eighth, is Ian Kinderman. And right field, hitting ninth, is Cam Cady. Joel Stein warming up behind me here, just behind the Westfield dugout. And the Wolfpack just finished their infield practice, so we're about ready to get this thing started here in the next 5 minutes. We're going to take a quick word from our sponsor here on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
Utegg's Body Shop in Corry is helping to bring you this broadcast. Along with collision repair and refinishing, Utegg offers frame straightening services. Located at 633 East Smith Street in Corry. Utegg's Body Shop.
Man, I loved playing high school sports growing up. And it's fun being a fan now, don't get me wrong, but sitting in the stands feels like I'm missing out on all the action, you know? I wanted to get back in the game, so I signed up to be a high school official. It takes me back to my playing days. I'm supporting students, and I get paid to make the big calls. Do you want to see the game up close? Sign up to become an official in New York at highschoolofficials.com.
Support for coverage of CSP baseball action on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane sports stream comes from JH Napa Auto Parts. Your local Napa store stocks auto parts, tools and equipment, and other items for heavy-duty trucks, marine, and farming equipment. Located at 955 North Center Street in Corry and NapaOnline.com.
Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
Welcome back in here to Westfield, New York, as we get closer to first pitch here between the CSP Wolfpack and the Westfield Wolverines. Let's take a little bit of a deeper look at the CSP stats so far this season through 4 games. Coach Hare's team is hitting the ball well since the shutout at Frewsburg, and they are getting some really great pitching from their 2 seniors, Bryce Hinsdale and Tate Katniss. We'll start with Bryce. He's got a 1.62 ERA through 11.1 innings pitched. He's only given up 10 hits to his 13 strikeouts. And then there's Tate Katniss, whose ERA looks inflated because of that Frewsburg loss. His ERA at 7.77 through 8.1 innings pitched. He's only given up 8 hits and 10 Ks in that time, so Tate has a chance to bounce back today. Just getting some more innings in will lower that ERA for him. Offensively, leading the way for the Wolfpack right now is Bryce Hinsdale, hitting .428 with 6 walks, 1 reach by error, and 5 RBIs. Tate Katniss and Andrew Spiesman, as well as Isaiah Burkholder, all hitting .333, and they are the other offensive leaders for the Wolfpack. Now we will get ready to get this thing underway here as the Wolverines take the field. So the Wolfpack offense, again, it's only through 4 games. Don't take .428 as like a gospel as far as hitting goes, but you know, with Bryce hitting that well and then having 6 walks on top of that, he's certainly a threat every time he's at the plate for the Wolfpack. Johnny Abers, hitting in that 9-hole, he's 0 for the season so far, so still looking for that first hit. But he's been walked 3 times and hit by a pitch and contributed to the offense multiple times. As we watch the Westfield team get ready to go here, we'll take a quick moment to talk about some other college baseball in the area. JCC 11-22 after 3 losses to Genesee this weekend. They play Genesee today as well in Jamestown. Interesting note about that JCC baseball team this year, CSP alum Gabe Roth on that team. He's hitting .348 for Jamestown with 16 walks and 6 stolen bases and 23 RBIs. So a great season for Gabe Roth at JCC, the former Wolfpack member, getting the job done there for Jamestown. St. Bonaventure, they fell to 13-27 on the season after losing 2 of 3 to Davison. Salamanca alumni Gabe Roth, one of the pitchers there for St. Bonaventure. He's got a 7.08 ERA through 20 innings pitched and 23 strikeouts for Gabe as he's trying to work his way into the rotation for the Bonnies. And Mercyhurst sits at 12-29 following a sweep by Wagner this weekend. Another interesting note about college baseball in the area, the Tarp Skunks getting ready to start May 29th This year, their team will feature players in different colleges from New York, Ohio, North Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Argentina. One of those players featured on the Tarp Skunks this year will be Jamison Walsh from Southwestern, who is currently at the University of Albany. All that said, we come back into the focus in front of us, which is CSP Westfield. And Joel Stein just about done with his warm-up pitches, and we're about ready to get this thing underway. And the Wolfpack will try to keep the bats hot and see if Tate Katniss can give them some powerful innings here from the mound. As we said, Tate got kind of rocked earlier in the season by Frewsburg in that no-hitter that they faced there, but he did really well against Maple Grove, went 5 innings, gave up only 4 hits and 2 earned runs. Joel Stein ready to go, and Gavin Burchanowski will get things started here for the Wolfpack. Burchanowski now in the box, and we're ready to get this thing underway. The 2-2 Bonnies, or 2-2 Wolfpack against the 1-2 Wolverines, and there's the first pitch. Swung on and missed by Burchanowski. Strike one. Gavin back in the box now. Stein comes with the pitch. Outside in the dirt, and it'll be 1-1. That one bounced in the other batter's box, and Gavin wisely stayed back away from that thing. The count goes to 1-1. Stein's pitch. High and outside for ball 2. And Joel Stein. Here he comes again, 2-1. Swung and missed by Burchanowski, and the count goes to 2-2. So Gavin Burchanowski trying to take this at bat a little bit further here at a 2-2 count. Stein is ready. Here's the pitch. Burchanowski gets a hold of it towards right field. Right fielder tracking it, but he can't get to it. It's going to drop in there for a hit. Burchanowski around first towards second. The fielder fields it. Burchanowski going to get it past second. He's going for third. The cutoff man throws, and it is not in time. Burchanowski is safe with the triple. A leadoff triple by Gavin Burchanowski gets the Wolfpack cooking right away here in the first. And I tell you what, you get Gavin on, and then you bring up Bryce Hinsdale, who's hitting .428 so far this season and has a bunch of walks. You have to feel pretty good about that start if you are Coach Matt Hare. And Stein ready now with a runner on third. Here's the first pitch to Hinsdale. High and inside for ball 1. Burchanowski, nice triple to right field there. Got right over the right fielder's head. Get things started. And now the 1-0. Hinsdale turns on it. He's going to get it past the first baseman into right field for a single, and that'll be an RBI knock for Bryce Hinsdale. Nice little RBI there for Bryce. And the Wolfpack are on the board, 1-0, just like that. That'll bring up pitcher Tate Katniss to bat for the Wolfpack. And just waiting for Bryce to change his gloves from his batting gloves to his running gloves. And now Tate steps in. Bryce leading off first. The two dynamic seniors ready to go here. Stein's pitch. And Tate takes that one high for ball 1. Stein trying to settle in here after giving up a run right off the bat to the Wolfpack. Nice lead for Hinsdale off of first. There's the throw over to him, and he's back in plenty of time. And the first baseman staying on the bag, so you got to keep him a little tighter there. But Bryce has no problem beating back that throw, that pickoff attempt from Stein. Count remains 1-0 as we get ready for the next pitch to Tate Katniss. Low and outside, gets past the catcher. Hinsdale will be into second easily, and he looks to third but decides no. So Stein gives up the leadoff triple, then a RBI single, and now he's behind 2-0 to Tate Catney's. Tate hitting .333 on the season going into today's game. And he's ready to get after this one with the 2-0 pitch. Checking Hinsdale, and he'll now throw to second to try to get Hinsdale. Hinsdale back standing up, didn't slide, and beats the throw by a half a second. Hinsdale, a nice lead again. Now the second baseman stops holding him. The pitch is going to be catching the corner for strike one. It was outside edge and just barely caught the edge of the strike zone there. The count goes to 2-1 now. Second baseman going to hold Bryce close at least for now. And there's the pitch to Tate. Strike two called on the inside half of the plate. And the count goes to 2-2. 2-2 count, no out, one already in for the Pack here in the first as they lead 1-0 with Bryce Hinsdale on second. And Tate Catney's ready to face the pitch from Stein. That pitch high and inside, and the count goes full. Tate stepping back in now with a full count. Joel Stein checking Hinsdale at second. Here comes the full count pitch, high and above Tate's head. He'll walk him. And that puts Andrew Spiesman at the dish for the Wolfpack. He's also hitting .333 so far this season, and he's had a lot of RBIs to drive in. I have him right now at 3 RBIs on the season, and he has an opportunity now with a runner in scoring position and 2 on and no out here in the first. Spiesman, tall in the box, waiting for the pitch. There's the pitch way outside, gets past the catcher. Both runners will move up, and now he has 2 in scoring position. And that wild pitch did definitely get away from the catcher on that one. It wasn't a terrible pitch. It was in the dirt outside, but Rom could not get to it, and it got all the way to the backstop. Here's the next pitch to Spiesman. Swing and a miss, strike one. Big cut there from Andrew Spiesman with 2 runners in scoring position as the senior looks to move the other 2 seniors forward and add to the Wolfpack lead. 1-1 now the count to Spiesman. Here's the pitch. He gets a piece towards center field. Center fielder tracking after it. It's going to be over his head, and he's not going to get to it. It's going to go all the way to the fence. That'll easily score 2 on the stand-up double for Andrew Spiesman. 2 more RBIs for Spiesman. And the Wolfpack are certainly off to a great start here today in Westfield. Two RBIs for Spiesman to add to the 3 he had previously this season. And now he will look to trade places with Isaiah Burkholder as Burkholder steps into the box. Still no outs here in the first. 3-0 Wolfpack and Spiesman on second. Joel Stein trying to settle things down here as he's off to a not-so-great start against the Wolfpack. Stein checks Spiesman at second. And he'll come to the plate now with the pitch. Outside to Burkholder for ball 1. Burkholder back in the box now. Stein again checks the runner. Now he'll try to throw it back to get Spiesman at second. And Spiesman gets there in plenty of time. And we'll do it again. So 3-0 Wolfpack if you're late getting to us. Leadoff triple by Gavin Burchanowski, a single by Bryce Hinsdale, a walk for Tate Catney's, and then a 2 RBI double for Andrew Spiesman. That one fouled back by Isaiah Burkholder, and the count goes to 1-1. So an RBI for Hinsdale as he had the single and brought home Burchanowski, and then 2 RBIs for Spiesman as he brought home Hinsdale and Catney's. Spiesman now on second, still no outs, and Burkholder facing a 1-1 count. Stein checks the runner. Here's the pitch, and he catches the corner there. Low and outside as Burkholder was going to let it go, but it was over the plate for strike 2. 1-2 now the count to Burkholder. Here's Stein's pitch. That one's outside for ball 2. So Burkholder had a big game 2 games ago against Maple Grove, going 3 for 4. He did not have a great offensive day against Chautauqua Lake in the last outing. And that one almost hit him. I actually went behind him, and the count goes full. Burkholder did have a collision in center field with his right fielder during the game against Chautauqua Lake as well. He did come up from that just fine and continued on, but it was a scary moment for the Wolfpack. All right, full count now for Burkholder. Here's the pitch, way outside, and Isaiah will take first on the walk. So that'll bring up Max White, the catcher. Max not having a great offensive start. He's hitting less than 100, .083 on the season, but he does have a couple walks and a couple RBIs because his one hit was a 2 RBI double. So don't be surprised if Max shows some power here in this at bat. Burkholder on first, Spiesman on second, 3 runs already in and no outs here in the first. First pitch to Max White, no, he'll go back to second and check Spiesman. Spiesman back in plenty of time. Ball back to Stein on the mound now. And Max will look to get his first pitch of the at-bat. Stein checks the runner. Here's the pitch to Max White. High above Max's head for ball 1. A lot of pitches already for Joel Stein here in the first inning. And quickly in a 3-run hole, and he's 2 on, and Max, who can show some power here at the plate. 1-0 to Max. He swings and misses. So now 1-1 the count. Max ready to go. Stein gets his sign. He'll check the runner at second. That's Spiesman. Here's the pitch. Swung and missed by Max White. And the count goes to 1-2. Stein trying to get the first out of the inning for the Wolverines. Max trying to keep this rally, this early game rally going for the Wolfpack. 1-2 pitch. Caught the corner for strike 3. Max will go down looking, and Brady Phelps will be up. So now 1 out here in the first, and Brady with a chance to potentially get some RBIs himself. Takes the sign from Coach Hare at third. And now he's ready to go. Stein checking the runner, Spiesman at second. Now he's going to throw to second. He hits Spiesman in the back with a ball, and the ball goes into center field. And Spiesman, because he's on his stomach, can't do anything about it, so the runners do not advance. Joel Stein ready to go now. And Brady Phelps now back in the box ready to go as well. Stein's first pitch to Phelps. Phelps gets a piece of it. It's going to be foul to the left side. The catcher tracking it, but it does go out of play. So quickly 3-0 to start this thing. Now there's 2 runners on and 1 out here in the first. Brady Phelps behind 0-1. Joel Stein checks the runner. And the pitch. Called strike 2. That one just at the top of the zone there. Nice lead by Spiesman off at second. There's the pitch. Brady takes a big swing, and he'll go down swinging for the second out of the inning, Brady Phelps. And that'll bring up McCaleb Anderson. Anderson, the right fielder for the Wolfpack today. He and Mason Groders have traded off and on that role. And today Anderson is the starter in right field. He steps in the box with 2 on and 2 away here in the first. First pitch to Anderson, way inside for ball 1. Anderson ready to go now. Stein's pitch, low and outside, and it'll be ball 2. The catcher, Rahm, thought that Spiesman may go for third, but Spiesman had no intentions of doing so and stays at second. And the 2-0 is the count as Stein gets set again. Catcher sets up outside, and the ball comes in high. They're going to try and make a throw at third. They overthrow the runner. Spiesman's safe at third. The ball is fumbled by the outfielder. Spiesman's coming home. The cutoff man's the third baseman. No play on Spiesman, and he's home for the Wolfpack to extend the lead to 4-0. And in that time, Isaiah Burkholder also advanced to second base. So Anderson now had 2-1 in the count, and we'll have an opportunity to try to drive in Burkholder here. Here's the pitch. Called strike on the outside edge, and this goes to 2-2. 4-0 Wolfpack here in the top of the first inning. Joel Stein's pitch. Called strike 3 on the outside edge, and Anderson goes down watching, and that'll end the inning for the Wolfpack, but not before they put 4 on the board to get things started here in Westfield. We'll take a quick word from our sponsor here on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
Financial support for this broadcast of CSP Baseball Play-by-Play on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided in part by Stone Audiology at 709 East Columbus Avenue in Corry. Also in Bradford, Northeast, and Kane, Pennsylvania. In Jamestown, Olean, Belmont, and Chaffee, New York. Phone 814-664-7070. Online at stoneaudiology.com.
CSP Wolfpack baseball coverage on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is brought to you in part by Troyer's Greenhouse, now open for the season Monday through Saturday. Troyer's Greenhouse is located at 1669 Weeks Road, just 2 miles west of Panama. Go Wolfpack from Troyer's Greenhouse.
Coverage of Wolfpack baseball on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided in part by Whiteland Surveying in Clymer, providing land surveys for Chautauqua and Cattaraugus counties in New York and Erie, Warren, and Crawford counties in Pennsylvania. Phone 716-499-8410. Find them online at mwhitepls.com. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Whiteland Surveying for their support.
And welcome back to Westfield, New York, as the Wolfpack get things started with a bang, taking a 4-0 lead in the top of the first. And you're watching Tate Cadney's finish his warm-up pitchers before we start the bottom of the first inning here in Westfield. And leading off for the Wolverines will be their pitcher, Joel Stein. And he'll try to get some offense started for his Wolverines after giving up 4 runs to get this thing started. Wolfpack seniors did their part as Gavin Burchanowski started things off, the sophomore, with a triple, but then 3 seniors, all 3 of them making contributions to that 4 runs, as the single from Bryce Hinsdale scored Burchanowski, a walk from Katniss, and then Spiesman scored both the other 2 seniors and reached second with a nice double to center field. Then he stole third and then eventually stole home to extend the lead to 4-0. Joel Stein now getting ready to step in as the Westfield bench trying to get him fired up here for this first at-bat. Katniss is ready, and here's the first pitch. And that'll be low for ball 1. So Tate getting some run support early. Hopefully that will allow him to be very specific with his pitches and come right after the strike zone. Stein steps back in. 1-0 from Katniss. That pitch is driven towards left field. And it's over the left fielder's head. That's Anderson. Anderson's going to chase it to the fence. Stein on his way to second. It'll get cut off by the shortstop and hold Stein at second. But a leadoff double for Joel Stein gets things started for Westfield. Up next for the Wolverines, the catcher, Trent Ram. Ram wears 99 for the Wolverines, and he will step in next with Stein now in scoring position over there on second. Everyone's ready to go now, and Tate will check the runner. Here's the first pitch, and that one's called a ball. The Westfield dugout very active here in this first inning. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled, but actually went back to the pitcher, and he hit himself in the foot with it Rom will limp over to his coach for a moment here to collect himself. So fouled that one into his own foot. Did not feel good, and Rom is not. He's still limping over there on the foul area outside of third base. We'll see how he's doing here. They're going to have to make a decision pretty quickly on whether he comes back to the box or they replace him. Meanwhile, Max White will run out and have a chat with Tate Katniss. Rom still limping over there by third base. And now he's heading back to the box. The limp appears to be gone from the last 10 steps or so that he took. Max White returning to his place behind the plate, and we'll get ready to get things started here once again. So Joel Stein with a leadoff double for the Wolverines, who trail 4-0 here in the bottom of the first. The count is 1-1 to Trent Rom, as Tate Katniss will check the runner. And here's the pitch. Driven deeply but foul to the left side. So Rom now behind 1-2. A pretty long foul ball there for Rom. If he could straighten that one out, he would do some damage. 1-2 is the count. Runner on second, no outs here in the top of the first for the Wolverines. Here's the pitch. That one's outside. The throw to third is over the third baseman's head into left field. And it'll be fielded quick enough to prevent the steal of home, but third base is stolen by Stein. Overthrow by Max White. Potentially dangerous, but avoided. Count to Rom is 2-2. So runner now on third, that's Stein. 2-2 to Rom. Here's the pitch. And it'll be a ball, so the count now goes full. Katniss thought that one had the corner, but the umpire says no. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung and a miss by Rom. He'll go down swinging for the first out of the inning for the Wolverines. Danny Bratton up next, the third baseman. And he will step into the box with a runner on third and one out here in the first. Katniss ready to go. Bratton ready to go. Here's Tate's pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike one. Did get by Max White there, but there was nothing happening from the runner, even though Katniss was quick to cover the plate. So the Wolfpack score 4 in the top of the first. Now they're trying to settle in defensively here after giving up a leadoff double. And then Stein stole third, but they struck out Rom, and now Bratton is down 0-1. There's the pitch. That one's low, and the count goes to 1-1. A 1-1 count now to Bratton. There's the pitch. Swung on right to the third baseman. Smeesman snags it and tags the bag for the double play. Nice play in the field there by Andrew Spiesman. And he gets the Wolfpack single-handedly out of the inning with the solo double play there. So with that, we have reached the end of the first. 4-0 CSP. We'll take another word from our sponsor here on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
When the game is on the line, championship teams know the game plan. They communicate and work together to win. We all need a game plan to protect ourselves online. Talk to family and friends so they know how to stay safe too. Create strong passwords, turn on multi-factor authentication, update software, and recognize and report phishing, because online safety is not something you want to fumble. Get more game-winning tips at CISA.gov/secure our world. Then share them with family and friends.
Support for CSP Wolfpack baseball coverage is provided in part by Tina Dills, ERA Team VP licensed real estate agent, serving the Wolfpack listening area in all of Chautauqua County with real estate services for buyers, sellers, vacation rentals, and all relocation needs. For more information on how to get your move going, Tina can be reached at 716-397-7790. Tina Dills and the ERA Team VP agents wish the Wolfpack the best of luck.
Corry's only locally operated radio station is Channel 98.9 with your eerie weather, your favorite personalities.
Thank you so much for joining us on a Monday.
You see today local news, entertainment, and information around the clock. And Corry's modern rock. Channel 98.9, your one radio station.
And we welcome you back in here to Westfield, New York, as we get ready to start the top of the second inning. Joel Stein finishing up his warm-up pitches. He gave up 4 in the first, and the Wolfpack were able to shut it down quickly in the bottom of the first. Only 11 pitches thrown by Tate Catneys. So 4-0, and the Wolfpack will start with the bottom of their lineup, number 11, sophomore Johnny Abers. Abers 0 for on the season so far, so he'd like to get his first hit, but he has been walked 3 times, been hit by a pitch, and been a big part of the offense so far this season. Johnny also really, really good defensively for the Wolfpack so far this year. So Abers steps in, and Stein will get started here in the second. Abers shows bunt, now pulls it back for strike 1. Abers is speedy, and I think the bunt sign just trying to make the infield be honest. Here's the 0-1. Abers takes that pitch low for ball 1. Abers now ready to go. Stein ready as well. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. It's fouled off by Johnny Abers, and the count goes to 1-2. Johnny still looking for that first hit and hoping to get it here and keep the Wolfpack offense rolling. 1-2 pitch from Stein. Called strike 3 outside and high. And Johnny will go down watching. And then I'll go back to the top of the lineup, Gavin Burchanowski, whose leadoff triple started everything in the first, and he will have another chance to see what he can do with the bat here for the Wolfpack. Burchanowski, like most of the Wolfpack playing other sports, he's a great wrestler for the Wolfpack as he wrestles for Chautauqua Lake. Here's the first pitch. Burchanowski swings and hits that one towards first base. The first baseman fields it cleanly and is there in time to get Gavin out at first. And as I mentioned, he's a solid football player and a young football player getting a chance to play on varsity as a sophomore. But as a wrestler, Gavin is kind of an up-and-coming star on the Chautauqua Lake team, someone to keep an eye on in the state tournament over the next couple of years. On to a senior, Bryce Hinsdale. First pitch to him. Outside for ball 1. Now Bryce, a single in the first for an RBI after already entering the game, hitting an outrageous .428. So that probably jumped him up around 500 for the season to this point. The 1-0 to Bryce. He gets a piece of that one. All deep to right field and over the fence into the playground as Bryce Hinsdale goes yard here in the second, and the Wolfpack have their first home run of the season. Bryce Hinsdale goes yard, and the Wolfpack extend their lead to 5-0. Second pitch of the at-bat, and Bryce just beautiful swing, sent that thing right over the right field fence. Some kid on the playground caught that ball. And with that home run, I think Bryce is probably now hitting somewhere around 550 on the season. Tate Catney's now stepping in. 5-0 Wolfpack. 2 outs here in the second. Here's the first pitch. And that one comes right down Main Street, but Tate takes it for strike 1. The 0-1 to Catneys. High for ball 1. Trying to get some more pitches here from Stein, as he's had actually a pretty efficient inning to this point, even with the home run. 1-1 the count. Catney swings hard at that one. Third baseman fields it on the hop, gets it to first in time. No, he fumbles the ball, and Catney is safe. And that's going to be an E3. But Tate aboard, and that will bring back up Andrew Spiesman, whose first inning double led to 2 RBIs for the Wolfpack. Spiesman hitting with power so far the last couple games and really kind of testing the limits of some of these outfielders. Catney's leads off first. Stein comes set, and here's the first pitch to Spiesman. High, and Catney's takes off for second. The throw is there in time, and he's punched out. They throw him out at second. And that will end the inning for the Wolfpack as Tate's caught stealing second, but not before the Hinsdale home run makes it 5-0 CSP. We'll take another quick word from our sponsors here on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
Support for Wolfpack baseball coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided by Countertop Solutions in Clymer. Go Wolfpack from Countertop Solutions.
CSP baseball coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided in part by Steve Daniels Electric and Flicks Heating and Plumbing and Air Conditioning, located at 147 East Main Street in Corry. They offer residential and light commercial new services, as well as electrical repairs, well pumps, and water conditioning systems. Phone 814-665-6034. Online at flicksheatingplumbingandac.com.
School sports are played by humans, coached by humans, and officiated by humans. So the next time you're sitting in the stands at a school athletic event, please remember this and maintain your humanity, especially when it comes to judging and critiquing athletes, coaches, and officials. Please show your fellow humans some respect. They'll appreciate your empathy.
This message presented by NISFA and the New York State Athletic Administrators Association.
And welcome back to a very beautiful day here in Westfield, New York. Wolfpack leading 5-0 halfway through the second inning. And a really nice home run there by Bryce Hinsdale, continuing to power that Wolfpack offense. Tate Catney's just about done with his warm-up. We'll take a quick look ahead at the week to come for the 98.9 Sports Stream. Today's game in Westfield. Tomorrow, weather permitting, there would be a softball game also here in Westfield between Clymer and Sherman Westfield. We will cover that if the weather allows. Wednesday, softball at Maple Grove. That'll be Clymer Sherman at Maple Grove. Thursday, baseball versus Brockton in Clymer. And Friday, baseball at Casadega. Saturday, baseball at Southwestern. And, of course, State Line's opening night at 5:30 for the Pit Road Show. All those things, of course, weather permitting. Leading off this inning for Westfield will be Mason Braum, and Tate Catney's is ready to go. Here's the first pitch. Outside for ball one. Mason Baum, the first baseman for the Wolverines. He now leads in the count 1-0, and here's the pitch. He swings and misses on that one, and the count goes to 1-1. A foul tip back into Max White's glove there. And Baum will shake that one off and get ready to go again. The 1-1 from Catney's inside, and Baum did turn but did not break the wrist, and he'll take a ball. They do check it to the outfield official, and he says no, he did not go. So the count is now 2-1. Catney's pitch outside for ball three. Tate quickly behind 3-1 now after starting the count 1-1. He'll try to reel it back in here. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, and the count goes full. A Mason Baum, the first baseman, will face a full count here against Tate Catney's. Baum now back in the box. Tate winds and fires. Baum gets a piece of that one. It's going to be fouled off to the right side and fouled just past the line. Nobody could get to it out there in the outfield. And I'll tell you what, couple watchers there, as Spiesman definitely wasn't going for it. Burchanowski came all the way over from shortstop, but Anderson certainly could not track that ball, and nothing more than a long foul ball. Baum back in the box now, full count. Here's the pitch from Cadney's. High, and he'll walk him. Tristan Phillips, the shortstop, due up now for the Wolverines. He gets ready to step in the box now with a runner on first after the walk. Here's the first pitch. Swing and a miss for Phillips. So softball happening behind us. Beautiful sunshine out, kids playing on the playground. And of course, the perfect thing to do on a spring day, baseball. Cadney's pitch is hit back towards the shortstop, fielded there, pushed to second for 1 out, and the throw to first is going to be not quite in time. So Phillips will reach on fielder's choice, and Logan Baum will be up. So his brother just thrown out at second. Baum steps in, runner on first. Here's the first pitch from Cadney. He's high, but he swings at it. Strike one. So 1 out, 1 on for the Wolverines here. Cadney's trying to work his way out of this one. He'll check the runner at first. And a half second or so late for that, and the runner's back safely. Tate up 0-1 in the count here. Gets a strike there, and the count goes to 0-2. So Logan Baum will have to dig out of this 0-2 hole here. He's got to protect with a runner on first and 1 out. Cadney's working quickly. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit right back towards second. Johnny Abers charges it, and it gets past him into center field. And they'll prevent any more damage there, but the lead runner, Phillips, gets to third and Baum to first. And I think that is going to be a reach on an error. And we'll give it to Johnny Abers, so E4. And that error puts runners on the corner now for Joey Russo. Joey Russo, the second baseman, stepping in. Here's the first pitch to him. He sends that one up high. Max White chasing it towards the dugout, and it's out of play. So 1 out. Fielder's choice play by second baseman Gavin Burchanowski. And then runners on the corners. 1 reach by fielder's choice and 1 reach by error. The 0-1 to Russo. Outside gets past Max White. Runner's coming to the plate. White dives for the ball. He throws, but well behind the scoring run. And nothing Tate could do to stop that one. And that will Tristan Phillips scoring there on that stolen base. Logan Baum advancing to second base. So Russo facing the 1-1 count now with a runner on second. 1 in and 1 out here in the second for the Wolverines. Cadney's ready to go now. Here's the pitch. And that's called strike 2. Nice breaking ball there, dropping quite a bit at the plate. A 1-2 count now to Russo. Cadney's his pitch. Swung on and fouled straight back at me. And the count stays the same. (5-1) the score here in the bottom of the second. Cadney's checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Fouled off to the right side, and the count stays the same. So in the first, Tate gave up a double, which ended up not hurting him. And so far in this inning, he's had a batter reach by a walk, a fielder's choice, and an E4. The 1-2 to Russo. Fouled back again, and Russo continues to stay alive in this at-bat. 3 straight fouls here from him. And again, the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3. So Russo goes down swinging for the second out of the inning, and that'll bring up Ian Kinderman, the left fielder, hitting in the 8-hole for the Wolverines. Kinderman comes up with 1 on and 2 out, and 1 in here in the second for his team as they trail 5-1 to the Wolfpack. Tate Cadney's trying to get out of this thing. He checks the runner. There's the pitch. High and inside for ball 1. Tate ready to go here. The 1-0 pitch. High, gets past Max White. Max chasing it down. The runner will advance to third. No throw to be made there. And now Baum only 1 base away from another Wolverine run. Kinderman ready to go. He's up 2-0 in the count. The pitch. And that's going to be called ball 3. So now Catney's facing a 3-0 count here with Baum just 1 base away. Kinderman hoping to do something here. There's the pitch from Catney's. He gets a strike on the outside edge. Count goes to 3-1. Tate going to have to be careful here. Checks the runner. Here's the pitch. And they say he walked him. That'll bring up the 9-hole hitter, Cam Cady. Cameron Cady, the right fielder for the Wolverines, is a lefty stepping in. So runners on the corner for Cady with 2 out and 1 in here in the second. Catney's ready to go, and here's the pitch. Cady swings and misses. It's strike 1 there for him. Here comes the 0-1. That one's outside, and the runner at second takes off. Or runner at first takes off for second. He will not get a throw, and he's in there safely. That's Kinderman. So now runners on second and third with a 1-1 to Cady. There's the pitch. Inside for a ball. 2-1 now the count. Tate ready to go. 2-1 pitch. Cady fouls it back. And the count is 2-2. Tate working quickly and honestly not really responsible for a lot of what's happened to him this inning, but nonetheless has to get out of this jam and can't walk another batter. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled off. The count stays at 2-2. Cady, the lefty, back in the box, ready to go. Here comes Tate's 2-2 pitch. Cady gets a piece of it towards first base. Fielded well there by Hinsdale, and he'll tag the bag to end the inning. So the Wolfpack get out of it with only giving up the 1 run. And Tate Catney gets a little help there at the end from fellow senior Bryce Hinsdale to get out of the inning. This is the 98.9 Sports Stream.
Coverage of CSP Wolfpack Baseball is brought to you in part by Caflisch Pallet and Wood Services in Clymer, a leading provider of new, heat-treated, and recycled pallets and wood services since 1993. Find them online at caflischpallet.com. Phone 716-355-4354. Caflisch Pallet and Wood Services wishes the Wolfpack the best of luck this season.
Support for Wolfpack Baseball on the Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided by Mosher's Carpeting at 8631 East Main Street in Clymer. Mosher's has carpeting and all types of flooring, serving the area for over 27 years. Online at mosherscarpeting.com.
Support for coverage of CSP Baseball on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided by Triple E Manufacturing in Sherman. Triple E offers equine products, promotional items, embroidery, and printing services. 800-295-4282 or online at tripleemanufacturing.com.
Wolfpack Baseball on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided in part by Necker's Company General Store. providing Clymer with groceries, apparel, gift items, and so much more for over 100 years. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Necker's Company General Store for their support. Funding for this broadcast on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided in part by J. Edwards Insurance. With offices at 9 East Main Street in Panama and 800 West 3rd Street in Jamestown, J. Edwards Insurance is an independent insurance service providing auto, business, farm, and homeowners insurance. We treat you like family. Online at jedwardsinsurance.com. Best of luck to the Wolfpack this season from J. Edwards Insurance, serving New York and Pennsylvania since 1957.
Welcome back to Westfield, New York, where the Wolfpack lead 5-1 after 2 innings. They get ready to start the top of the third here after a 25-pitch inning from Tate Katniss with a fielder's choice and an error, as well as 2 walks that gave up 1 run in that inning for the Wolfpack. Tate at 36 pitches total on the day so far. His opponent, Joel Stein, at 44 through 2 innings. Stein will face Andrew Spiesman, who got 1 pitch in the last inning before they threw out Katniss, stealing second. First pitch to Spiesman, a swing and a miss here to start the third. Spiesman, a 2 RBI double back in the first, looking to replicate that sort of hit here. Here's the pitch. That one's low and bounces for ball 1. And that makes a 1-1 count. And Spiesman ready for the 1-1 pitch. Stein ready to send it, and here we go. Pitch is low and bounces off the foot of the catcher for ball 2. So 2-1 now the count here in the top of the third. Waiting for the pitch. Stein waiting for a sign. He gets the one he wants, and here it comes. Way outside for ball 3. Stein will try to reel that one in as he's now behind 3-1 in the count. Really nice crowd here in Westfield for today's game. As a beautiful, beautiful sunny spring day. Here's the pitch. And a late swing there from Spiesman loads the count up. Full count now to Spiesman. Stein comes ready. Here's the pitch. Spiesman gets a piece of it back to third. It's fumbled there by the third baseman. It's going to be close to throw to first. And it is just in time to get Andrew Spiesman. So 1 away now for the Wolfpack here in the third, and Isaiah Burkholder stepping in. Spiesman's bat there off the hands of the bat, and may even got a finger or 2. And he put that one towards the third baseman. The third baseman did fumble the ball, but was able to come up with it in time to make the throw to first and retire Spiesman. There's the pitch to Burkholder over his head for ball 1. And Stein working quickly here. He's ready to go again. Ahead 1-0 in the count. Behind 1-0 in the count. Throws that one in the dirt in front of the plate, so now goes to 2-0. That one bounced about 1.5 feet in front of the plate there. So a 2-0 count. Here comes the pitch. Inside, and Burkholder will take that for ball 3. Burkholder, a very patient batter. We've seen that already a couple times this season, and now he's ahead 3-0. Stein will have to work from way behind now on the count. There's the pitch. Top corner, but got the strike. And it's 3-1. Stein ready to go with the 3-1 pitch. That one will be a walk as it hits the dirt down low by the catcher's feet. And Burkholder will go aboard for the Wolfpack. His second walk of the game. That'll bring up Max White. Max struck out back in the first on 4 pitches. Took a couple swings there before going down in the first, and we'll see what Max can do here in the third. First pitch to Max is outside. He'll swing and miss. And he's behind 0-1. Burkholder leading off our first. Stein checks him. Now he looks for the call at the plate. Here's the pitch to White. White gets a piece of that one over the third baseman's head. That's going to fall in for a base hit. And Burkholder safely to second. White aboard with that single. Nice little piece there by Max White, and the Wolfpack have some offense here in the third. Up next, Brady Phelps, the left fielder. 1 out and 2 on for him. They lead 5-1 in this baseball game. Brady looking to get the bat going here. Hitting .250 coming into today's game. Throw back to second base, and Burkholder back in plenty of time for the pack. So Brady came in today hitting .250. He did strike out in the first, so his batting average is less than that now. But I'm not calculating it on the fly, so we'll just assume it's near there. And he lays down a bunt right back towards the pitcher. The pitcher fields it, throws to first, way past the first baseman, and they're going to run the bags here as that one goes out of play. He'll give up 1 bag, and he'll score a run for the Wolfpack. So that's going to be an error on the first baseman or the pitcher. I'm not sure which one will get the error there. But it did advance White to third, brought home Burkholder, and Brady to second. And it will be on the first baseman. E3 on that play. Caleb Anderson now at the plate. First pitch to him way outside. He'll take that for ball 1. So Anderson, the right fielder, struck out in the first and now has an opportunity to drive in a run here in the third with White on third. Phelps on second. Here's the pitch. Outside for ball. And it's 2-0 to Anderson. 1 out, 2 on, 1 already in for the pack here in the third. Here's the 2-0 to Anderson. He swings and misses on that one for strike 1. Anderson back in the box now. Joel Stein trying to get out of this jam he's got himself into here. 2-1 pitch. Outside for ball 3. And the situation's gone south for Stein quickly. The walk to Burkholder, then the single to White, then the error where Phelps reached. And now Anderson will take the walk there. So the base is now loaded for Johnny Abers. Johnny, great time to get that first hit of the season as he steps in. He struck out back in the second. And we'll see what Abers can do here in the third. Base is loaded, 1 out for the Wolfpack. And looks like we're going to have a little mound visit as they try to give Joel Stein a little breather. Trent Ram will come out and talk with him. The whole infield will come in. And he has had a rough couple at bats there, so he's going to need a chance to kind of collect himself when the base is loaded. Good news for him is that he has Johnny Abers, but the bad news for him is then the top of the lineup comes right behind Johnny. So as we said, Johnny's 0 for so far this season, but he has walked a few times, and he was hit by a pitch. Not that he's had terrible at-bats, he just hasn't had a ton of opportunities yet. So we'll see what Johnny can do here. Wolfpack leading 5-1 here in the 6-1 here in the third after Burkholder scored. And base is loaded for Johnny Abers. Stein's mound visit with his infield is now done, and we're ready to get back to business. Stein gets his sign. And here's the pitch. High above Abers' head for ball 1. Brady Phelps ran back to second base there, unchallenged by an infielder, but I'm not sure if he's just trying to get Joel Stein off balance. Second pitch catches the corner for strike 1. Abers facing a 1-1 with bases loaded and 1 out. Here's Stein's pitch. Abers takes it for strike 2. And the count goes to 1-2 for Johnny. Stein's 1-2 pitch. Low and outside for ball 2. So the count now 2-2 to Johnny Abers. Stein's pitch. Low, gets past the catcher. The runners will all advance, and there's no play at the plate. He throws it over the pitcher's head, but no one else can advance because the first baseman backs the ball up well. Max White scores on the play, though, And Johnny Abers will face a full count when he steps back in. So now runners on second and third, and Abers in a position to create some more offense here for the Wolfpack. 7-1 now the score. Nice heads-up play there by Max White getting home on that overthrow. Or the wild pitch, I should say. And that one's called strike 3 on the outside edge against Johnny Abers. He goes down looking for the second out of the inning. Trent Burchanowski now. He'll get up, or Gavin Burchanowski, sorry. He had a triple in the first and ground out to the first baseman in the second. He'll get his third at bat here in the third inning. That tells you how much the Wolfpack offense is cooking today. Gavin now waiting. He'll take a late swing at that one for strike 1. For some reason, just as he stepped into the batter's box, the wind kicked up. 0-1 to Gavin Burchanowski. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. So runners on second and third, that's Anderson and Phelps. And 2 already in, that was Burkholder and White, as the Wolfpack have extended their lead here in the third. But 2 outs, and Burchanowski faces the 0-2. Pitch way outside, gets away from the catcher. The runners take off. Catcher feels the ball. He throws it to the plate. The pitcher has it, and they're going to get the tag out on Brady Phelps there at the plate to end the inning. So that will be the end of the top of the third. Wolfpack score 2 and leave 1 stranded as the throw out at the plate got the other runner. And they'll take that nice 2-run addition to their lead, make it 7-1, and head off to the bottom of the third. And we'll take a quick break and a word from our sponsors here on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
Utegg's Body Shop in Corry is helping to bring you this broadcast. Along with collision repair and refinishing, Utegg offers frame straightening services. Located at 633 East Smith Street in Corry. Utegg's Body Shop.
Man, I loved playing high school sports growing up. And it's fun being a fan now, don't get me wrong, but sitting in the stands feels like I'm missing out on all the action, you know? I wanted to get back in the game, so I signed up to be a high school official. It takes me back to my playing days. I'm supporting students, and I get paid to make the big calls. Do you want to see the game up close? Sign up to become an official in New York at highschoolofficials.com.
Support for coverage of CSP baseball action on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream comes from JH Napa Auto Parts. Your local Napa store stocks auto parts, tools and equipment, and other items for heavy-duty trucks, marine, and farming equipment. Located at 955 North Center Street in Corry and NapaOnline.com.
Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
And welcome back in here to Westfield, New York. Bottom of the third inning about to get going here as the leadoff batter will be the pitcher, Joel Stein. But I'm not sure how much longer we'll see Joel on the mound for the Wolverines. He threw 25 pitches in the third. He's up to 69 total on the game so far. He will lead off, though, this inning against Tate Catneys. Tate's first pitch to him, and that'll be ball 1. Tate at 36 pitches through 2 innings. And if the indication of the bullpen behind me is anything, this is probably the last we'll see Stein pitch, as he is going to be likely replaced by Tristan Phillips here in the next inning. There's the pitch from Catneys outside for ball 2. (2-0) for Stein. There's the pitch inside for ball 3. And Tate trying to reel this bat in here. He's quickly behind 3-0. Time for the batter. And Stein back in the box now. He started the game off with a double for the Wolverines. That pitch catches the top for strike 1. Right down Main Street at the very top of the zone there from Tate Catneys in the 3-0 pitch. So now it's 3-1. Tate winds and fires. Swung on and fouled off to the right side. Count goes full. So a nice battle here between these two pitchers. And Tate trying to get the best of Stein this time after giving up a double to him in the first. Full count here in the third, and the payoff pitch. Swung on, hit towards third. Spiesman fields it cleanly. He fires to first in time, and Stein is retired to start the inning. A really nice play there by Andrew Spiesman at third. The ball got on him pretty quick off a hop, and he was ready for it, fielded it cleanly, and got it over to first. Very patient fielding from the first baseman, Bryce Hinsdale. So Trent Rahm now stepping in. Trevor Rahm. First pitch to Rahm is going to catch the corner for strike one. So Trent Rahm is the catcher, and we saw a few pitches get past him in the last inning that contributed to the Wolfpack lead. The 0-1 to him. Strike two. And right now, since the middle of the last at bat, Tate's working the top of the zone. Of his 4 strikes, all 4 in the top of the zone. That one drops off the table, but a drop strike 3. Fielded by White. He gets to first in time. No problem there. That breaking ball just dropped right off the table for Tate Cadney's beautiful pitch. And Trent Rahm goes down swinging. Next up is Danny Bratton, the third baseman. 2 down here in the third for the Wolverines. And Tate Cadney's ready to try to get the third out. Bratton steps in. There's the pitch from Cadney's, and that one's outside for ball 1. And you can hear the Westfield dugout to my right as they are very vocal throughout this game. Cadney's pitch. Strike 1, again high in the zone. He continues to work the top edge of the strike zone here. So the count is 1-1, 2 outs, and here's the pitch. Swung on, and that one's going to foul. Only really a couple feet from the line down the third base side. So Bratton's after his long foul, Bratton is down 1-2 in the count. And Tate potentially 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning. Bratton back in the box now. Tate winds and fires. Strike 3 called there, and the Wolfpack can finish the third with a strikeout looking for Danny Bratton. And we will head to the fourth after this word from our sponsors here on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
Financial support for this broadcast of CSP Baseball Play-by-Play on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided in part by Stone Audiology at 709 East Columbus Avenue in Corry. Also in Bradford, Northeast, and Kane, Pennsylvania. In Jamestown, Olean, Belmont, and Chaffee, New York. Phone 814-664-7070. Online at stoneaudiology.com.
CSP Wolfpack Baseball coverage on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is brought to you in part by Troyer's Greenhouse, now open for the season Monday through Saturday. Troyer's Greenhouse is located at 1669 Weeks Road, just 2 miles west of Panama. Go Wolfpack from Troyer's Greenhouse.
Coverage of Wolfpack Baseball on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided in part by Whiteland Surveying in Clymer, providing land surveys for Chautauqua and Cattaraugus counties in New York and Erie, Warren, and Crawford counties in Pennsylvania. Phone 716-499-8410. Find them online at mwhitepls.com. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Whiteland Surveying for their support.
And welcome back to Westfield, where the Wolfpack are in control of this one with a 7-1 lead. Still pitching for the Wolverines is Joel Stein, and he is at 69 pitches on the day coming into this inning, so they definitely were at least getting another pitcher ready, and that was Tristan Phillips, so I wouldn't be shocked if he gets in a jam here if they jump to Phillips. Gavin Berchanowski, I keep calling him Trent today. Gavin will lead off for the Wolfpack, and he is their leadoff hitter. quick word before we get the inning started here. Good luck to the CSP Wolfpack track team hosting Randolph today in Clymer, and I hope things are going well over there for the Wolfpack track and field team. Burchanowski ready to go. Stein ready to go. Let's get this fourth inning underway. First pitch, called strike on the outside edge. And the Wolfpack bats very active early here. We'll see what happens with the pitching for Westfield. 0-1 to Burchanowski. Pitch is inside for ball one. One. There's the pitch. Swung on. Burchanowski drives that one to right center. All the way to the fence. It's going to bounce, and he's going to easily beat a second. A stand-up double for Gavin Burchanowski. Very nice big league double there by Gavin to get things started here for the Wolfpack in the fourth. And Bryce Hinsdale gets ready to step in. As I mentioned earlier, he's hitting something like 450 or 475 on the year so far. I laugh at that. A single in the first with an RBI, a home run in the second, and now here in the fourth, he will step in with a runner in scoring position after Burchanowski's double. Stein checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Swung on by Hinsdale, and a pop-up towards third base. The third baseman tracking it and falls down as he catches it, but he does, in fact, hold on to the baseball. So first out of the inning is Hinsdale. But have no fear, Wolfpack fans. Another dynamic senior coming up behind him, the pitcher, Tate Catneys. Tate walked in the first and reached by error in the second, and then was caught stealing, actually, in that second inning. He'll come up now here in the fourth with a runner on second and one out. Stein checks the runner. Here's the pitch. High for ball one. So now it'll be 1-0. Stein checking on Burchanowski over there at second base. And here's the pitch. Outside edge, but it's still a strike there for Stein. And the count goes to 1-1. Catneys awaits the pitch. Here he goes. Swings at Stein's outside offering for strike two. And Stein now ahead 1-2. See what Catneys can do with it. Joel Stein shakes off the sign, shakes off another, and he likes the third. Here's the pitch. Catneys gets a big piece of that one right down the foul line, just foul. So now Tate stepping back in the same situation, a 1-2 count. Stein retakes the mound, and we're ready to get it back going here with one out and one on here in the fourth for the Wolfpack. They lead 7-1. The pitch outside for ball two. Burchanowski, a real healthy lead there. He was more than halfway to third during that pitch. Here comes the pitch now. 2-2. Way outside, and now the count is full. So a full count to Catneys. Burchanowski on second, getting a healthy lead here. Stein's pitch, way outside. He'll walk Catneys, and Burchanowski will advance to third on the wild pitch. So Tate aboard, and that brings up Andrew Spiesman. His big 2 RBI double in this first, and a ground out to the third baseman in the third so far for Andrew. He'll have runners on the corners and one out here in the fourth. Andrew has really been a stereotypical 4-hitter for the Wolfpack the last 3 games. A lot of RBIs piling up for him. Stein's pitch. Outside half, gets a strike, and the pitcher cuts off the throw down to second. And stolen base there for Tate Cadneys. I think if that one would have gotten through, Tate may have been close on that one. He wasn't super far ahead of the throw. Another nice throw by Rom, but the pitcher catches it, cuts it off instead. Here comes the 0-1. Outside in the dirt, gets past him. Both runners are going to take off. The Wolfpack will score a run on the wild pitch. Burchanowski scores again on a wild pitch. That's the second time he's scored on one of those. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I take that back. His first score was on an RBI from Hinsdale. Second time he's advanced on a wild pitch. And Cadneys now will be on third for Spiesman. So the count is 1-1 to Andrew. Wolfpack now up 8-1. Spiesman gets a piece of that towards third base. It's fielded there cleanly by the third baseman. He fires to first, makes the play, but that will score Tate Cadneys. And a RBI sack for Andrew Spiesman. Keeps racking up those RBIs. So 2 out, 2 in for the Wolfpack here in the fourth, and Isaiah Burkholder will be up next. A conversation being had in the Westfield dugout. Now the coach coming out to have a conversation with Joel Stein. Infield also coming in. This may be the end of Stein's day. And it will be. So with Stein's day ending, we will go to a quick word from our sponsor. We'll come right back when the new pitcher's ready to go here on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
When the game is on the line, championship teams know the game plan. They communicate and work together to win. We all need a game plan to protect ourselves online. Talk to family and friends so they know how to stay safe too. Create strong passwords, turn on multi-factor authentication, update software, and recognize and report phishing, because online safety is not something you want to fumble. Get more game-winning tips at cisa.gov/secure-our-world. Then share them with family and friends.
Support for CSP Wolfpack baseball coverage is provided in part by Tina Dills, ERA Team VP licensed real estate agent, serving the Wolfpack listening area in all of Chautauqua County with real estate services for buyers, sellers, vacation rentals, and all relocation needs. For more information on how to get your move going, Tina can be reached at 716-397-7790. Tina Dills and the ERA Team VP agents wish the Wolfpack the best of luck.
Corry's only locally operated radio station is Channel 98.9. With your eerie weather, your favorite personalities.
Thank you so much for joining us on a Monday.
You see today local news, entertainment, and information around the clock. And Corry's Modern Rock. Channel 98.9, your one radio station.
Pitching change here in Westfield as the Wolverines go to Tristan Phillips on the mound. And Joel Stein's day is done after 3.2 innings. And he gives up 5 walks, 5 hits, 9 runs with only 5 strikeouts. Not a great outing for Joel Stein, and the Wolfpack take advantage of him to take a 9-1 lead here in this baseball game. Phillips ready to go, and the Wolfpack ready to get the offense back to work as Isaiah Burkholder steps in. Phillips' first pitch to Burkholder. Burkholder sends it down the third baseline, foul. So 82 total pitches thrown by Stein before they gave him the hook there. And now we'll see if Phillips can get this thing righted for the Wolverines. The 0-1 to Burkholder. Outside, and it's 1-1. That one gets past the catcher. But for once, one time today, maybe the first time all day, Rom doesn't have to chase it because there's no runners. Phillips pitch. Outside for ball 2. And the count's 2-1 to Burkholder. Burkholder walked in both of his at-bats, first and third inning. And he's ahead 2-1 here. Here's the pitch. Outside for ball 3. One more of those, and Isaiah will reach his 3rd walk of the day. Phillips winds and fires the 3-1. Outside, and Burkholder is aboard once again. 3 at-bats, 3 walks for Isaiah Burkholder. That is patient batting from the center fielder for the Wolfpack. That'll bring up Max White. His single back in the 3rd led to some runs. I think actually it led to a run. And he struck out back in the 1st. So Max 1 for 2 on the day. Burkholder on first, 2 outs here in the 4th. Here's the pitch outside in the dirt, gets away from the catcher. Burkholder will advance to second on the wild pitch. So far today, in excess of 10 wild pitches from the Wolverines has led to a lot of extra bases for the Wolfpack. And Phillips now. The 1-0 pitch. Checks the runner at second. Now he'll deliver. Down in the dirt. Rom blocks that one and keeps it in front of him, but the count is 2-0. Was able to hold Burkholder at second at least and allow no further damage. (2-0) now the count. Burkholder taking a healthy lead off second. Rom checks him there. Phillips checks him there. Phillips pitch outside. Called strike on the outside edge. And Max White is still ahead 2-1 in the count. Burkholder again leading pretty far off second base. Phillips going to come to the plate now. Max White gets a piece of it right back to the shortstop. Fielded cleanly the throw to first in time to get Max and in the side. So Phillips gets them out of the 4th, but not before the Wolfpack add 2, and it's 9-1 pack here halfway through the 4th inning. We'll take another word from our sponsors here on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
Support for Wolfpack baseball coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided by Countertop Solutions in Clymer. Go Wolfpack from Countertop Solutions.
CSP baseball coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided in part by Steve Daniels Electric and Flicks Heating and Plumbing and Air Conditioning, located at 147 East Main Street in Corry. They offer residential and light commercial new services, as well as electrical repairs, well pumps, and water conditioning systems. Phone 814-665-6034. Online at flicksheatingplumbingandac.com.
School sports are played by humans, coached by humans, and officiated by humans. So the next time you're sitting in the stands at a school athletic event, please remember this and maintain your humanity, especially when it comes to judging and critiquing athletes, coaches, and officials. Please show your fellow humans some respect. They'll appreciate your empathy.
This message presented by NISFA and the New York State Athletic Administrators Association.
And welcome back into Westfield, New York on a beautiful spring day as the Wolfpack lead 9-1 here over the Westfield Wolverines in an important league game in the CCAA Division II. The Wolfpack currently in the 3rd spot in that division with their 2-1 league record, 2-2 overall, and Westfield sitting in the 5th spot, 1-2 overall with a 1-1 league record. The Wolfpack, if they can win this game, which I had 9-1, hopefully they can, they'll move to 3-1 in the league and a winning record overall, 3-2. Doing so will put them in a pretty good spot with the likes of Frewsburg and Brockton at the top of CCAA Division II. Warm-ups completed here for the bottom half of the 4th, and Tate Catney's ready to pitch. Mason Baum will lead off, the first baseman for the Wolverines. And then just taking a look at my book, I have 13 wild pitches by the Wolverines in 4 innings. First pitch to Baum. Gets past Max White as soon as I say wild pitch. That one gets past the catcher, but ball 1. So freshman catcher for the Wolfpack, too. Let's not forget in Max White. Second pitch is in there for strike one. And the count goes to 1-1. Mason Baum walked back in the second and then was thrown out on a fielder's choice. Here's the 1-1 to him. Inside for ball 2. And now the count is 2-1. As soon as Baum's back in the box, here comes Katniss. Pitch is high and inside for ball 3. Tate trying to work fast, but now he's going to have to find the zone with a 3-1 count. Here's Tate's pitch. And that one's foul tipped back at the catcher. And the count goes full. And Max White will run out real quick to have a quick chat with Tate Katniss with the full count. I want to make sure they're on the same page here. And now Max heading back behind the plate. Tate likes what he's heard from his catcher, and we'll see what we can do here with a full count in the 4th. Mason Baum, he walked on a full count back in the 2nd. Katniss will try to fix that here in the 4th. And the payoff pitch from Katniss. High, and he'll walk Baum again. 2 walks for Baum on the day. He puts a runner on board here in the 4th for Tristan Phillips. Phillips, the relief pitcher who's come in to replace Stein here for the Wolverines defensively. He'll get a chance to try to give himself some offense. Katniss checking the runner over at first, and here's the pitch. Swung on and missed by Phillips, strike 1. Baum not taking a huge lead off at first, but enough to get Tate's attention there. So now on the 0-1 pitch, Tate checking him again. He comes set. Here's the pitch. Inside for ball 1. And the count's 1-1. Tate ready to get things going, waiting for the signal from Max White. He gets it. Checks the runner. The 1-1 pitch. Outside edge, and they'll call it ball 2. Tate thought he caught the corner there, but he did not. And the count is 2-1. Baum takes his lead off first. Westfield dugout for some reason barking. And there's a throw over to first, and the CSP dugout thought he had him, but he did not. Baum back in time. Still not sure why the dugout from the Westfield side is barking here, but 2-1 is the count. Here's the pitch from Katniss, and that's ball 3. And again, Tate thought he had the outside edge of the plate there, but the umpire says no. So 3-1 now for Tate. The pitch, swing and a miss by Phillips. The runner takes off for second. He'll be there safely. And the count is full. Max White did let that one get away from him, dribbled off to the left side, and that's what allowed the runner to advance to second. But the count now full to Phillips. And Katniss will look to deliver another full count pitch here. High, and they'll walk the runner again. And now Coach Hare will come out and have a word with his senior, as he's now walked 2 batters in a row on full counts. And nobody warming up for the Wolfpack yet, so I think this is just an opportunity to kind of reset Tate here with a 9-1 lead, and he's been cruising ever since the second. So now things kind of getting away from him here. I want to try and help him roll it, bring it all back together and reset here to get things back on track. We mentioned earlier in the show that the Wolfpack, again, going to have a busy week, even though it's supposed to rain. Not sure how much of these games are actually going to happen, but they are scheduled to play Thursday, Friday, Saturday this week. Thursday versus Brockton, Friday at Casadega, and Saturday at Southwestern, if the weather so does allow. Mound visit now over. Stepping in is Logan Baum, the center fielder, and First pitch from Katniss, swung on right back towards him, gets over his head, fielded by the shortstop, Burchanowski. He tags the bag and then rips it to first as well, and they almost caught the runner at third. So a nice double play there and almost a triple play. Maybe a half second late on the triple play. So great effort there by Burchanowski, and that'll bring up Joey Russo. Russo, the second baseman, takes that one high for ball one. Again, the Westfield dugout finds the need to bark here. Second pitch, outside for ball two. Down 9-1, they're still very vocal, so give them credit for that. They're staying in the game, trying to support their teammates. All right, 2-0 the count. There's the pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the left side. And the count goes to 2-1. Wait for the ball to get back out to the mound, and now it does. Tate ready to go. 2 out, 1 on, and there's a strike. Count goes to 2-2 with a runner on third. That runner is Mason Baum. Joey Russo, 2-2 count. Katniss steps off. I think did have a balk his last time out, so now he's going to make sure he steps off the mound correctly. All right, back to go here. He checks the runner. And now the batter wants time as Russo steps out. A little bit of a game here back and forth. A little chess game between the pitcher and batter. Here's the pitch. Down low, gets past the catcher. White, he makes the play, but not in time. The run will score. That's Mason Baum. So Russo with a full count here. As the Wolfpack allow a run, that makes it 9-2 on the day. And wild pitches continue to be the story of this baseball game. Both catchers struggling. Here's the pitch from Katniss. Swung on high to left field. Being tracked there and dropped by the left fielder. Anderson drops the ball. Quickly they spin and get it to second, so no advancement further than that. But Joey Russo will reach on an error. Ian Kinderman due up next for the Wolverines with a runner on first and 2 out here in the fourth. Katniss comes set. There's the pitch. Strike one. Nice pitch on the outside half of the plate there from Tate. 0-1 to Kinderman. Inside for a ball. White tries to make the throw to second. He will not get the runner in time. Russo effectively steals second base. And Burkholder did a really good job of backing that play up. He got up there quickly from the center field position. So no harm there other than the stolen base, and it's a 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. Strike two, inside top corner. Nice pitch there from Tate Katniss. Dial up the speed on that one and put it right past him. Tate wants this inning over with. Here comes the 1-2. Fouled off, back over the backstop, and the count stays the same. Pitch, outside edge for a ball. Strike three on the outside edge. Kinderman goes down looking, and that'll be the end of the Wolverine fourth. The score, 9-2 Wolfpack. A quick word from our sponsors here on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
Coverage of CSP Wolfpack Baseball is brought to you in part by Caflisch Pallet and Wood Services in Clymer, a leading provider of new heat-treated and recycled pallets and wood services since 1993. Find them online at caflischpallet.com. Phone 716-355-4354. Caflisch Pallet and Wood Services wishes the Wolfpack the best of luck this season.
Support for Wolfpack Baseball on the Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided by Mosher's Carpeting at 8631 East Main Street in Clymer. Mosher's has carpeting and all types of flooring, serving the area for over 27 years. Online at mosherscarpeting.com.
Support for coverage of CSP Baseball on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided by Triple E Manufacturing in Sherman. Triple E offers equine products, promotional items, embroidery, and printing services. 800-295-4282 or online at tripleemanufacturing.com.
Wolfpack Baseball on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided in part by Necker's Company General Store, providing Clymer with groceries, apparel, gift items, and so much more for over 100 years. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Necker's Company General Store for their support. Funding for this broadcast on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided in part by J. Edwards Insurance. With offices at 9 East Main Street in Panama and 800 West 3rd Street in Jamestown, J. Edwards Insurance is an independent insurance service providing auto, business, farm, and homeowners insurance. We treat you like family. Online at jedwardsinsurance.com. Best of luck to the Wolfpack this season from J. Edwards Insurance, serving New York and Pennsylvania since 1957.
A 9-2 baseball game here in Westfield is the Wolfpack, handling business so far as we head into the top of the fifth. They'd like to tack on a few more here and get a 10-run lead, hopefully get out of this thing after one more inning of defense. But Brady Phelps will have to get them started here if they're going to do that. Phelps' first pitch to him, and he turns and drives that one foul to the left side. Nice piece of that ball, just a little bit late to it, and drives it foul. So the Pack have been successful offensively today, and Tate getting by defensively. Here's the pitch, swung on and missed by Brady. And Phelps is down 0-2 to Phillips. Tate getting by, he's at 74 pitches through 4 innings. So if they can get another couple runs here, he could finish this thing. Swing and a miss for Brady Phelps. He'll go down swinging for the Wolfpack. First out there. And McCaleb Anderson now going to be replaced by Mason Groders. Now Mason will have a chance to bat. Phillips' first pitch to Groders. Called strike on the outside half. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 1. Count 1-1 to Groders. Here's the pitch from Phillips. Outside, bounces in the dirt. And the count is 2-1. Groders trying to get the offense going for the Wolfpack here in the 5th. 1 out after Brady Phelps' strikeout. Here's the pitch to Groders. He swings at the outside pitch for strike 2. And it's 2-2 for the freshman. Phillips comes set now. Here's the pitch to Groders. And that one comes down Main Street. He gets caught looking at that one, and he'll be the second out of the inning. Johnny Abers now. 2 strikeouts so far today for Johnny. Still 0 for the season. We're looking to see if he can get that first hit here. Abers, another nice play in the field at second base today. He continues to make great defensive plays for the Wolfpack. First pitch to him, he gets a piece of that one, fouls it off his own foot. And it's 0-1 to Abers. 2 away quickly here for Phillips here in the 5th. He turns and fires. High for ball 1. 1-1 now to Abers. Johnny waiting. Here's the pitch. Bounces in the dirt for ball 2. We talked earlier about Burchanowski being a very strong wrestler. Johnny, a quarterback on the football team, a guard on the basketball team, and a very dynamic second baseman here on the baseball team. Great three-sport athlete already, only as a sophomore. Here comes the 2-1 to Johnny. Outside pitch caught the corner, and it's 2-2. Phillips trying to get out of this inning here with no harm. There's the pitch. Called strike 3, but that one was pretty far outside. And Abers goes down looking. And the Wolfpack go down in the fifth, 1-2-3, but still lead 9-2 here halfway through the 5th inning. Quick word from our sponsor, and we'll come back for the Wolverine half of the inning.
Utegg's Body Shop in Corry is helping to bring you this broadcast. Along with collision repair and refinishing, Utegg offers frame straightening services. Located at 633 East Smith Street in Corry. Utegg's Body Shop.
Man, I loved playing high school sports growing up. And it's fun being a fan now, don't get me wrong, but sitting in the stands feels like I'm missing out on all the action, you know? I wanted to get back in the game, so I signed up to be a high school official. It takes me back to my playing days. I'm supporting students, and I get paid to make the big calls. Do you want to see the game up close? Sign up to become an official in New York at highschoolofficials.com.
Support for coverage of CSP baseball action on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane sports stream comes from JH Napa Auto Parts. Your local Napa store stocks auto parts, tools and equipment, and other items for heavy-duty trucks, marine, and farming equipment. Located at 955 North Center Street in Corry and NapaOnline.com.
Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
And welcome back into Westfield here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. And leading off for the Wolverines will be their 9-hole. A replacement for Cam Cady, and I have to get you the name of the batter here. Give me just a moment on that one. First pitch is fouled off for strike 1. The batter is Nolan Anderson. He swings on that one, drives it past the third baseman for a base knock. And he will be aboard in replacement of Cam Cady to get the 5th inning started for the Wolverines. So Nolan aboard. Back to the top of the lineup now for Westfield. Throw back over to first to hold the runner. And Joel Stein, the pitcher, who doubled in the first and then grounded out in the third, will have a chance to get some offense going here for the Wolverines with a runner on first. First pitch from Catneys, and that's going to be low for ball 1. Well blocked by the catcher, Max White. Keep the ball in front of him and prevent a stolen base there. So it's 1-0 now. Here's the pitch. High and inside for ball 2. And a 2-0 count. Anderson on first for the Wolverines. Stein at the plate. There's the pitch. He gets a hold of that one. Sends it out in a can of corn to right field. It's going to drop in there. I don't think the right fielder knew where the ball was. And that will be a, I think it's going to be I'm not sure if it's going to be an error on Groders or if it's going to be a base knock. It was pretty far in front of him. It's going to be ruled an error on Groders. So Stein reaches by error, and now Ram, the catcher, with 2 aboard. First pitch to him down in the dirt, blocked well by White, but a ball nonetheless. So now Ram leading in the count 1-0. Here's the pitch. He gets that one up high over the backstop for strike one. So 1-1 now for Trent Ram. 2 aboard to start the inning. 1 by a single and 1 by an error. Here's the pitch. High for ball 2. And the count goes to 2-1. Katniss checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Strike call there in the top of the zone, and the count goes to 2-2. He continues to paint the top of the zone with the strikes today. When he goes low, if it's not the breaking ball, he seems to have a hard time keeping it in the zone. But the high balls, it has a nice swing and a miss there for Trent Ram. Strikeout, and the first out of the inning for Tate Katniss. Denny Bratton up now. He's the third baseman. He'll step in with 2 on and 1 out here in the 5th. And Tate, as I said, painting the top of that zone well. That strikeout was up in the top right corner again. White's ready to go. Here's the pitch. Tate grabs the outside for strike 1. Again, high and outside there. Nice pitch from Tate Katniss. 2 on for Bratton, but he's behind 0-1 already to Tate. Tate checking the runners. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Gets past White, but no one moving. And it's 0-2. So 0-2 the count now to Bratton. Katniss comes set, checks the runner. Here's the 0-2 pitch outside for ball 1. Katniss trying to be smart here and not give up anything more than what he already has. Count 1-2. 2 runners aboard, 1 out here in the 5th. Here's the pitch. High for ball 2. High inside, brushing back Bratton off the plate a little bit. And the 2-2 count now. Katniss working quickly, checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Swung on by Bratton, powered towards center field. Waiting for it is Burkholder. He makes the catch, and he'll get it in quickly to the cutoff man, Burchanowski, to prevent any advancing from the base runners. Very well played by Burkholder and Burchanowski there, and there are now 2 away. That'll bring up Mason Baum. He walked back in the 2nd and walked again in the 4th. He'll come up here in the 5th with 2 outs and 2 on for the Wolverines, trailing 9-2. Baum steps in. First pitch from Katniss, a brush back pitch for ball 1. Tate's already ready to go. Baum finally stepping back in the box. Tate checks the runners, fires. High, strike again. That outside top corner of the zone is Tate's bread and butter today. When he throws the ball there, he gets really, really nice strike calls that seem like the ball's coming in really high and it drops into the zone. Here's the pitch. That one's hit towards the first baseman, Hinsdale. He bobbles, throws it over to the pitcher, Katniss, who covers and gets the out at the bag. Great teamwork there from Katniss and Hinsdale. And the Wolfpack get out of the 5th with no damage done. We're going to take another quick break. Word from our sponsor here. We'll come back in the 6th with a 9-2 Wolfpack lead on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
Financial support for this broadcast of CSP Baseball Play-by-Play on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided in part by Stone Audiology at 709 East Columbus Avenue in Corry. Also in Bradford, Northeast, and Kane, Pennsylvania. In Jamestown, Olean, Belmont, and Chaffee, New York. Phone 814-664-7070. Online at stoneaudiology.com.
CSP Wolfpack baseball coverage on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane sports stream is brought to you in part by Troyer's Greenhouse, now open for the season Monday through Saturday. Troyer's Greenhouse is located at 1669 Weeks Road, just 2 miles west of Panama. Go Wolfpack from Troyer's Greenhouse.
Coverage of Wolfpack baseball on the Channel 98.9 sports stream is provided in part by Whiteland Surveying in Clymer, providing land surveys for Chautauqua and Cattaraugus counties in New York and Erie, Warren, and Crawford counties in Pennsylvania. Phone 716-499-8410. Find them online at mwhitepls.com. The Channel 98.9 sports stream thanks Whiteland Surveying for their support.
And welcome back in here to Westfield, New York, where the Wolfpack lead 9-2 in the top of the 6th inning. Watching the warm-up pitches for Westfield here as we get ready to start this top of the 6th, the Wolfpack will be led off this inning by Gavin Burchanowski, the top of the lineup. And we should be just about ready to go here. There was another pitching change made, I believe. Yes, there was. Ian Kinderman will be in to pitch now for Westfield. So Phillips goes 1 1/3 for the Wolverines. 3 strikeouts and a walk and a ground out for him. So not bad for Phillips. Kinderman now will face the top of the CSP lineup. And Burchanowski steps in. Here's the pitch. High and outside for ball 1. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Burchanowski drives one to right center. And tracking it to the center fielder, and the catch made there in right field for the first out of the inning. Fly out for Burchanowski after a triple and a double. He also grounded out in the second, so 2 for 2 for him today. Not a bad day. That brings up Bryce Hinsdale. Bryce, a single in the first, a home run in the second, and a fly out in the fourth. We'll see what he does here in the 6th. Kinderman's first pitch to Bryce. Called strike 1. Hinsdale, the lefty, ready to go. The 0-1 from Kinderman. Low and outside for ball 1. One now. Kinderman will deal to Hinsdale. Hinsdale swings on it, and he got that one popped up towards center. Center fielder tracking towards it and makes the catch on the run for the second out of the inning. So 2 flyouts for the Wolfpack. That brings up Tate Catneys. And Tate, after the last inning, is at 93 pitches, so I'm not sure if we'll see him in the bottom half of the 6th or not. Right now, though, we'll see what his bat can do with 2 out here in the top half of the 6th. 9-2 baseball game. Ian Kinderman, the third pitcher for the Wolverines. He throws the first one very high for ball 1. Nice snag there by the catcher, Rom, to keep that one from getting past him from his knees. 1-0. Here's the pitch from Kinderman. Down in the dirt for ball 2. (2-0). Kinderman's set, and here's the pitch. Catneys did go there, strike 1. So 2-1 to Tate now. Kinderman's pitch on the way. Low, and Tate has to jump back to not get hit by that one. And the count is now 3-1. And Gattney's back in the box now. Kinderman comes set, the 3-1 pitch. Swung on by Tate, driven back towards the second baseman. He fields it, and what a great play there by the second baseman to get the last out of the inning. Really nice play there by Joey Russo, and they get out of the inning. That's 2 straight innings now, 3 up, 3 down for the Wolfpack. And 9-2, we go to the bottom half of the 6th here on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
When the game is on the line, championship teams know the game plan. They communicate and work together to win. We all need a game plan to protect ourselves online. Talk to family and friends so they know how to stay safe too. Create strong passwords, turn on multi-factor authentication, update software, and recognize and report phishing, because online safety is not something you want to fumble. Get more game-winning tips at CISA.gov/secure-our-world. Then share them with family and friends.
Support for CSP Wolfpack baseball coverage is provided in part by Tina Dills, ERA Team VP licensed real estate agent, serving the Wolfpack listening area in all of Chautauqua County with real estate services for buyers, sellers, vacation rentals, and all relocation needs. For more information on how to get your move going, Tina can be reached at 716-397-7790. Tina Dills and the ERA Team VP agents wish the Wolfpack the best of luck.
Corry's only locally operated radio station is Channel 98.9. With your eerie weather, your favorite personalities.
Thank you so much for joining us on a Monday.
You see today local news, entertainment, and information around the clock. And Corry's Modern Rock. Channel 98.9, your one radio station.
And back in Westfield, a pitching change for the Wolfpack here to start the bottom of the 6th. Gavin Burchanowski will come on relief of Tate Gattney's. Tate threw 5 innings, gave up 4 walks, 2 hits, and 2 runs with 5 strikeouts. And his pitching kept the Wolfpack under control, and a 9-2 lead here. He'll hand off to Burchanowski. And the Wolfpack will continue on here in the 6th with Gavin taking over on the mound. Tate will move to shortstop and take Gavin's place in the field. First pitch from Burchanowski in there for strike 1 as he pitched to Tristan Phillips. Burchanowski working quickly. Here's the 0-1. And that's ball 1. So the count goes to 1-1. We see Burchanowski coming in relief quite a bit for the Wolfpack. I think this is his 3rd time this season. That pitch outside for ball 2. Two 2-1 now. Phillips steps back in. The pitch inside for ball 3. So the count goes to 3-1. Phillips, an inning and a third for the Wolverines. He faced, just the 4 batters, and he'll get walked here on this pitch. Faced just the 4 batters, but struck out 3 of 4, so not a bad deal for Tristan Phillips. Up next is Logan Baum. Here's the first pitch. Swung and a miss. So Baum behind 0-1 now with Phillips on first. Burchanowski ready to keep working here ahead 0-1. There's the pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the right side. The count goes to 0-2. And Gavin now quickly ahead 0-2 in the count. He'll check Phillips, the runner. And here's the pitch to Baum. Just gets a piece of it right back towards the pitcher. It'll get past him to second base. Fielded nicely there by Johnny Abers and rocked over to first for the out. Nice play there again, Johnny Abers in the field. Just past the pitcher, and I thought maybe that one was going to be in that no man's land between the pitcher and the second baseman, but Abers charged the ball, stabbed it, and fed it to the first baseman, Hinsdale, just in time. Joey Russo, the second baseman, now stepping in with 1 on and 1 out, runner on second. Berchanowski checks that runner, now he comes home with it, ball 1. Russo made that nice play in the field at the end of the last inning for the Wolverines. He's trying to get the bat going now. Ahead 1-0 in the count. Here's the pitch from Berchanowski. High and inside for ball 2. And now Gavin with a runner on second and 1 out here behind 2-0 in the count. Here's the pitch. Swung on, deep foul ball to the left side. So Russo, he fouls that one off, but it was a deep shot all the way down to the fence in the back on the left side foul area. And Berchanowski wants a new baseball. And we're ready to go now with a 2-1 count. Berchanowski checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Called strike 2. And the count's 2-2. That pitch moved from the middle to the outside. Really nice movement on that pitch for Gavin. And Berchanowski now trying to work from an even count. Checks the runner and fires. Top of the zone, and they'll call it a ball. That one, I think, very close to the edge. So a full count now. Berchanowski ready to deal to Russo. Here's the pitch. Outside, he'll walk him. So now 2 aboard for the Wolverines. And relief pitcher Ian Kinderman now at the plate. Kinderman, the third pitcher they used today, he bats in the 8 hole for the Wolverines. First pitch to him. He gets a piece of it towards left field. It's being tracked and caught there for the out. So F7 for Kinderman as he flies out to left field where Brady Phelps was waiting for that baseball. And neither runner able to advance either because of the quick work of the Wolfpack to be prepared for that. As soon as Phelps made the catch, they were ready for a throw down at third if need be. That brings up the bottom of the lineup, Nolan Anderson. First pitch to him. Strike 1 on the outside half. So 2 on, 2 out. As Berchanowski works quickly, here's the 0-1. Swung on and missed by Anderson, and the count goes to 0-2. Oh-2 now. Berchanowski checks the lead runner. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. And that'll end the inning with the backwards K as the Wolfpack's lead continues to be 9-2 with a nice inning there from Gavin Berchanowski. We'll be back for the top of the 7th in just a moment after our sponsors have a chance to thank them for all their effort here for providing the sports stream for us, and we'll take a quick word from them.
Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
Support for Wolfpack baseball coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided by Countertop Solutions in Clymer. Go Wolfpack from Countertop Solutions.
CSP baseball coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided in part by Steve Daniels Electric and Flicks Heating and Plumbing and Air Conditioning, located at 147 East Main Street in Corry. They offer residential and light commercial new services, as well as electrical repairs, well pumps, and water conditioning systems. Phone 814-665-6034. Online at flicksheatingplumbingandac.com.
School sports are played by humans, coached by humans, and officiated by humans. So the next time you're sitting in the stands at a school athletic event, please remember this and maintain your humanity, especially when it comes to judging and critiquing athletes, coaches, and officials. Please show your fellow humans some respect. They'll appreciate your empathy.
This message presented by NISFA and the New York State Athletic Administrators Association.
9-2 baseball game, and we're on to the 7th inning here in Westfield. The Wolfpack looking to close out their big lead. They started off real fast, 4 runs in the first, added a home run from Hinsdale in the second, added 2 in the third and 2 in the fourth, and that's how they got to 9. Westfield tried to pick away at that. They picked up 1 in the second and 1 in the fourth, but have been stymied largely by good pitching from Tate Katniss and Gavin Burchanowski. And now the Wolfpack bats will have one more say here before the last half inning comes up for the Wolverines. Leading off for the Wolfpack this inning will be the 4-hitter, Andrew Spiesman. So far today, he's got a double in the first with 2 RBIs and then 2 groundouts, although the second of those 2 in the fourth was a sack groundout that scored a run in Tate Katniss. So Spiesman gets ready to step in now. 1 for 2 and 3 RBIs on the day. Not a bad day for Andrew. Here's the first pitch to him. High, and he'll take that for ball 1. Kinderman came in the last inning. 3 up, 3 down. He's behind 1-0 now to Spiesman. Here's the pitch. Way outside, and it's 2-0. Nice play there by Rom to keep that ball, as it was a big step outside to get to it. Kinderman comes set, the 2-0. And almost hit Spiesman with that one. The count is now 3-0. Andrew, see if he has a ability to swing away here, if they want him to take to try to get the walk. Kinderman ready to throw the 3-0. Way outside, and Spiesman will walk. Isaiah Burkholder due up now for the Wolfpack. He'll step in having walked all 3 of his at-bats so far today in the first, third, and fourth. And Kinderman throws over to first to check the runner. Spiesman back in plenty of time. And Burkholder now steps back into the box. Kinderman staring down Spiesman. He'll now pitch. And I think he hit Burkholder with that one. Hit him in the foot, so Burkholder will reach by hit by pitch. And that'll bring up Max White, who's 1 for 3 on the day. A single in the third, struck out in the first, and ground out in the fourth. And quickly a mound visit for Kinderman. Walks 1 and hits 1, and they're out there to talk to him. Wolfpack up 9-2. They cannot allow the Wolfpack to add any more here if they have any plans of trying to come back in the bottom half. So Kinderman stays put for now. Have to assume if he gives up any more walks or wild pitches or anything, that might be the end for him. So Max White now, chance to make some offense happen with 2 on here in the 7th. White steps in. Kinderman set. Here's the pitch. White swings on it. He drives it towards third base. The third baseman missed it. That single to left field will advance both runners and load the bases for the Wolfpack. Nice little piece there by Max White. His second hit of the game. 2 singles for him today. And that'll bring up Brady Phelps with bases loaded here in the 7th. So Brady an opportunity to pick up some RBIs. He is 0 for 3 on the day, 2 strikeouts. Or no, I'm sorry, he's 0 for 2 on the day, 2 strikeouts, and he reached by error back in the third. First pitch, low and inside to Brady. Bases loaded, no outs here in the 7th. 9-2 lead for the Wolfpack. Kinderman's pitch, outside for ball 2. (2-0) the count. Kinderman comes set. Here's the pitch. Down in the dirt for ball 3. And it could walk Phelps here and score a run if they walk him. Going to assume the take's on here for Brady. 3-0 pitch for Kinderman with bases loaded. Strike one. Outside top corner, and the umpire gives him the strike there to keep him alive. 3-1 pitch now from Kinderman. Swung on by Phelps, driven to left center. Center fielder tracking it. It's going to get down out there in the gap. It should score 2 for the Wolfpack easily. It'll score 1 as the base runners were very slow to get going. And only 1 run score. Spiesman is home. Burkholder to third, White to second, and the single puts Phelps on first. And now, that'll bring up Mason Groders for the Wolfpack. No, it won't. Another change here. Anderson. Strike there. There's a pitch inside. And the count's 2-1. Here's the pitch. Swung on by Anderson. Driven over the first baseman's head. It should foul ball. And the count goes to 2-2. Anderson drove that one pretty nicely, but it did fall in there about 7 or 8 feet foul. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Fouled off to the right side. Count stays 2-2. Anderson now waits for the 2-2 pitch from Ian Kinderman. Base is loaded. Here's the pitch outside, and the count is full. So another situation where they could walk in a run if he's not careful. Kinderman will have to throw a strike here. Anderson looking to take advantage. Here's the payoff pitch. Anderson swinging a miss, and he'll go down swinging for the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up Johnny Abers. What a time for Johnny to try to get it going here. He's still 0 for on the season, so this could be a great chance for him to get his first knock. Kinderman's pitch. High for ball 1. One out, 3 on for Abers. 1 already in the inning. 10-2 is the score. Here's the pitch. Abers swings at the outside pitch and misses for strike 1. Kinderman trying to get himself out of this situation. He comes set. Here's the pitch. Way inside to Abers. That ball gets past the catcher, and a run will score. So Burkholder gets home on the wild pitch. White and Phelps move up a bag. And now first base is open if they want to walk Abers. Can't imagine they're going to with as well as Burchanowski's been hitting today. Abers ahead 2-1 in the count. 11-2 now the score. Pitch is high for ball 3. And the count's 3-1. The 3-1 pitch. Outside, and they call it strike 2. I really thought he walked Johnny there, but the umpire says he caught the corner, and the count is now full. Kinderman now. Full count. Here's the pitch. Abers swinging a miss, and that's the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Burchanowski. Burchanowski 2 for 4 on the day with a triple, a double, and a ground out and a fly out. He will try to keep the offense moving here. First pitch to him. Inside, might have got a foot. I think it did. Oh, both runners advance on that, and another run scores for the Wolfpack. That's Max White coming across the plate. Brady Phelps advances to third. And Burchanowski's ahead 1-0 in the count. Almost got a foot, I guess. It must have just missed him. The 1-0 pitch. Burchanowski fouls it off. Wolfpack scored 3 here now in the 7th. 12-2 lead. Here's the pitch. Down in the dirt. Burchanowski takes that for ball number 2. Gavin ahead 2-1 in the count. He has Brady Phelps on third and 2 outs here in the 7th. Kinderman comes set. Here's the pitch. Turned on by Burchanowski. Hit towards third. Fielded on the hop. The throw to first is in time to end the side. And Burchanowski grounds out there to the third baseman to end the inning. But now before the Wolfpack add 3 more and extend their lead to 12-2, heading into the final half inning here on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
Coverage of CSP Wolfpack Baseball is brought to you in part by Caflisch Pallet and Wood Services in Clymer, a leading provider of new, heat-treated, and recycled pallets and wood services since 1993. Find them online at caflischpallet.com. Phone 716-355-4354. Caflisch Pallet and Wood Services wishes the Wolfpack the best of luck this season.
Support for Wolfpack Baseball on the Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided by Mosher Carpeting at 8631 East Main Street in Clymer. Mosher's has carpeting and all types of flooring, serving the area for over 27 years. Online at mosherscarpeting.com.
Support for coverage of CSP Baseball on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided by Triple E Manufacturing in Sherman. Triple E offers equine products, promotional items, embroidery, and printing services. 800-295-4282 or online at tripleemanufacturing.com.
Wolfpack Baseball on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided in part by Necker's Company General Store, providing Clymer with groceries, apparel, gift items, and so much more for over 100 years. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Necker's Company General Store for their support. Funding for this broadcast on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided in part by J. Edwards Insurance. With offices at 9 East Main Street in Panama and 800 West 3rd Street in Jamestown, J. Edwards Insurance is an independent insurance service providing auto, business, farm, and homeowners insurance. We treat you like family. Online at jedwardsinsurance.com. Best of luck to the Wolfpack this season from J. Edwards Insurance, serving New York and Pennsylvania since 1957.
12-2 Wolfpack here in the bottom of the 7th. Gavin Burchanowski and company are 3 outs away from sealing the deal here in Westfield. Top of the lineup for the Wolverines, Joel Stein leading off. He was the starting pitcher today, went 3 2/3, giving up 9 runs in that time frame. Stein trying to keep the game going here for the Wolverines as they trial 12-2. Burchanowski's first pitch to him is outside for ball 1. Here's the next pitch. Inside for ball 2. And Burchanowski behind 2-0 now. Gavin ready. Here's the pitch. Almost hit the batter, and he's behind 3-0. Going to need a strike now from Gavin Burchanowski. Here he comes to the plate. And he walks the first batter, Stein. Walks him on 4 pitches. Hitting now is Tyvier Wells. He'll come in for Trent Ram. Takes the first pitch for ball 1. Burchanowski throws. Strike 1 to Wells. So 1-1 now the count. Stein leading off first. Burchanowski throws home. Ball 2. So now 2-1 to Wells. Tavier Wells coming into the game here in the 7th in relief of their catcher, Tyler Trent-Rom. And Burchanowski throws over to first to hold Stein at the bag. And now he comes set again. Here's the 2-1 outside for ball 3. And the count goes to 3-1. Wolfpack lead. They just need 3 outs to get out of this thing. Burchanowski's pitch. Driven towards second. Great play there by Johnny Abers. And he almost got the double play by himself as he throws it to first, but just a step late. So once again, another great defensive play by Johnny Abers. And the Wolfpack have the first out of the inning. Due up next is Danny Bratton. He wears number 5 and playing third base today. So far today, he's 0 for 3, 2 flyouts and a strikeout. Burchanowski's ready to throw the first pitch to him, and there it is. Popped up high. Tracking it is the third baseman, Spiesman, and he almost falls. The ball does drop in there, and both runners will be okay. The overthrow at second will go into the outfield. The runners will now advance, and the ball comes in, and that'll be the end of the damage, I believe. But runners will now be on second and third. So Bratton reaches by E5. Error on the third baseman. And now there's runners on second and third with 1 out. And Mason Baum at the plate, the first baseman. Baum steps in. The umpire didn't like what he saw. Calls the time, and now we'll do it again. First pitch to Baum is inside. Ball 1. Second pitch to Baum. Outside, gets past the catcher White. He's going to get to it quickly and hold the runners where they're at. So Max White, nice play there, popping up from the catcher position and preventing any runs from scoring. Bryce Hinsdale comes over, has a quick word with Gavin Burchanowski. And now we're ready to go. Baum back in the box. The 2-0 to him. Strike 1 on the inside edge for Burchanowski, and it's 2-1. Here's the pitch. Strike 2. Top right corner, outside corner there. And it's a 2-2 count. Here's the pitch. Strikeout looking for Baum for the second out of the inning. And the Wolverines down to their final out. Tristan Phillips coming on, the shortstop now to hit for the Wolverines. Gavin Burchanowski 1 out away from putting this thing away for the Wolfpack. Here's the pitch. Outside edge for strike 1. Burchanowski comes set. There's the pitch. Outside for ball 1. And the count is 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. And that's hit up high to third base. Spiesman tracking. Spiesman misses it again. And another error by Andrew Spiesman, and the run will score from third base. So now runners on first and second, and Logan Baum coming up to the plate. And I don't know if Spiesman was getting called off by the shortstop Catneys or if he just misplayed that ball, but second error on him regardless. Here's the pitch from Burchanowski. Hit towards short, diving play by Catneys. He can't get it. goes to the outfield. A run comes around and will score. White captures the ball. Both runners move up. A single by Baum scores a run. So 2 in and 2 out now for Westfield here in the final inning. Joey Russo now with 2 outs. First pitch to Russo, strike on the outside half. Runners on second and third, 0-1 to Russo. He gets a big piece of that one to right field, to left field, and it fouls foul ball. So 12-4 the score now, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Russo tried to straighten that one out as he drove a long foul there to the left side. 0-2 the count to Russo. Strike 3 on the outside half, and that'll be the game. Nice pitch there by Gavin Burchanowski to put away the Westfield Wolverines and get the Wolfpack another win, as the Wolfpack now moves to 3-2 on the season and 3-1 in league play. The Wolfpack back in action again Thursday, Friday, Saturday, weather permitting, of course, and they will play Brockton Thursday, at Cassadaga Friday, and at Southwestern Saturday. Join us tomorrow night, weather permitting, for softball, Clymer Sherman softball at Westfield here on the 98.9 Sports Stream. That's the final here in Westfield, CSP 12, Westfield 4. Player of the game today going to go to the bat that got it going for the Wolfpack and kept it going, and that was Bryce Hinsdale. A single in the first with an RBI and then a solo shot in the second helped the Wolfpack build the early lead. Bryce Hinsdale, player of the game against Chautauqua Lake, player of the game again today for the Wolfpack, who now pick up another league win, an important league win tonight over Westfield. We'll see you tomorrow night for softball or Thursday night for more CSP baseball here on the 98.9 Sports Stream. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for listening to this broadcast of CSP Wolfpack Baseball on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream at channel989.org. This broadcast is presented by Countertop Solutions, Caflisch Pallet and Wood Supply, Triple E Manufacturing, Necker's Company General Store, Daniels Electric and Flicks Heating and Plumbing, Troyer's Greenhouse, by Stone Audiology, by Whiteland Surveying, J.H. Napa Auto Parts, Mosher's Carpeting, J. Edwards Insurance, Utegg's Body Shop, by Lictus Oil and Propane, and Tina Dills, ERA Team VP Licensed Real Estate Agent. Tune in next time for all the action of CSP Wolfpack Baseball